No, I don't know you. I said, guess what? Just like that's your boy, guess what? I'm your boy. Even though I don't know you, I'm not letting nobody sell you crack. You know why? Because I never saw you before. But you are a black man like me. And it's worth something.
My whole life was trying to find something to follow. Had loyalty, every man tried to borrow. Felt pain and a lot of sorrow. Got betrayed, so packs I didn't even have my heart broke. Living confused, about to lose hope. Cops got me on the side of the road like a sideshow. Need an antidote before I croak. Now I'm setting fire to Rhythm Man blues, call this guitar smoke. Rebel with no cause, trying to find direction. The world got me vexed. Picked up a bad liquor habit that's hereditary from oppression. Felt like my life was on fire, trying to find an exit. Now look, 10 G's plus a good break. Sometimes a follower is a soldier, trying to find a good shepherd. Plus when you in hell, how did you excel? Wisdom the breath of life, I believe in fairy tale. Listen well to what I tell. No calling can cause pain, something that a rebel knows very well. Can't you tell I was sent from the Lord? Got a tongue like a two-edged sword, with a style that they might just record. The only thing equal is the curse for the wicked and the righteous reward. Have mercy on the many, don't see it. Separated from the tares, now on my prayers, and it's so be it. A rebel, take the world by word of mouth. UPK, we the rebels that you heard about. Yeah, and it ain't gonna stop till 100 virgins in the house, and I'm handing verdicts out. Yeah, rank, you ain't heard a clout without a shadow of a doubt. These devils hitting licks off us. Fuck the bank, I'm about to stone the pocket ticket office. Can't sweet talk us, cannot stop us. And plus I know the feds watching us. Telling people that they church full of witch doctors. Put us in prison, they stockpile us. Meanwhile, UPK turning rebels into rock wallers. In league with mighty men, and now I understand things that never truly made sense. Like why I'm crying at this funeral for a criminal, knowing he ain't innocent, it's fucked up. But my boot shine, standing between two priests, about to blaze on their ass, call it tough love. Look out for niggas just club, and wouldn't touch a white bitch with OJ's black gloves. Father, forgive me for my error. I'm forever by your side, clean and purge me of all my flaws. This the reason I'm alive. Thank God for this truth, cause for a long time, a rebel without a cause. Look, man, first time I met Commander Junior Hunter, man, hit 3807. Rebel without a cause. My little daughter with me. Opened the door, he was dropping the truth on me and all that. Rebel without a cause. Man, you know, you do your time. We taking the mountains, training in hand-to-hand combat. Rebel without a cause. Oh, yeah. It's the reason I'm alive. Up, Thank nigga. God for this truth, cause for a long time, we was a rebel without a cause.
You cannot whoop us. We're already dead. We're already beaten down. We've been beaten down for 400 years. We already got the wounds inside and outside our bodies. How you gonna hurt us? You cannot threaten us. You cannot frighten us. We live in the most frightening places, under the most frightening conditions. We are immune to fear. We are immune to harm. You see what I'm saying? You have stepped into a cesspool. You're the only one gonna get infected.
Hey, Shalom, Israel. Let's clap it up. We're going to get started now. Let's clap it up. We shed some light on the subject. Let's clap it up. Okay. We are the ISUPK. We are we started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. And now we're under Commanding General Yohana, the only man right now with the rank and authority to lead blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. So we are in the Bahamas. I'm precinct officer of Costco of 50, and we coming from the Bahamas, broadcasting from the Bahamas. And we're going to talk a little bit about, of course, today is what the world calls, especially in our part of the world, Mother's Day. But before we get into that, we'll take any questions that any individuals may have, and then we'll get into talking a little bit about Mother's Day, and Cap will come in and he will continue breaking down, and we continue going forward. Now, today is today is the first day of the week, Sunday, and we're in the Bahamas, and one of the celebrations that is celebrated yearly would be the day that they call Mother's Day. Um, I did a quick Google search on it a while ago, see where it started, and it's a new day that they started. I didn't initially find any correlation with the ancient, with any Babylonian customs at this point. We'll see if any that could come through as we go through our lesson for this evening. But one of the things we always hold fast to would be the commandments. And a lot of times we may not even realize it, but we're putting others above God when we put anything above God, even ourselves. And this is why in ISUPK we don't even celebrate birthdays. You may acknowledge the day, but be very careful because we know where the birthday celebration came from. But this Mother's Day it's also a day that they honor. They select to honor a certain group of people or persons, and these persons could actually be viewed as the God for that day. And they want to be recognized for that day. But is it really that important to be recognized for that day? Or is it just some vainglory that we as people seek? I think that's what happens more than anything else. Yeah, what Shemala talking about Shemai Shai. And yes, good. You can hear me okay, Sister Tish?
Carolina one answer.
To water. That's thank you. I was supposed to send those words, and I haven't been able to find all of them as yet to get them out. But yeah, I'm just going on a little bit about the actual Mother's Day, and not only Mother's Day, but all of the days that has been um, has been given to us or presented to us, and we seem to flow towards those days more than flowing toward the days what Yahweh has given us for feast days and celebration and holy high days and high holy days. We seem not to migrate to those days, but we seem to migrate to the days because also society has commercialized those days. So you have a whole big, you have a whole when those days are coming, you have a lot of things centered and geared around those days. A lot of commerce is centered around a lot of those days. When things like the Christmas and the Mother's Day and the Easter, those are like general days. Now birthdays is something different, but the days that you like the celebration days, they could gear the community, the society. They could gear certain sections of the country or wherever they are. They could gear toward those things. You see for Mother's Day, what you see baskets everywhere, all right? And we have a joke here in the Bahamas that Mother's Day you'll see baskets everywhere, and children going and buying different things for their mothers, and Father's Day you don't see the same thing. All fathers get, they say fathers get some crab and rice at dinner. Um, that's a long-standing joke here in the Bahamas that fathers are not even treated as mothers. But nevertheless, okay. So we're gonna celebrate them. Now, I want to find a scripture in a minute. as we continue to think about this day, and why shouldn't we? Why should we be careful? We be careful about these things because people are not always careful about how they treat, and I say how they treat God. People are not careful how they treat God. Um, it seems as though a lot of times we don't think God is able to see what we're doing. God is not able to. We don't think that God knows everything. We don't think that God is getting reports from the angels who are keeping an eye on us, so He knows what's going on. We don't seem to think that. You know, we don't seem to think that God is aware of whatever we do in darkness, or in the dark, I should say, or a lot of times when we're alone, or even right now, I don't think people realize that this is an affront to God, that we would celebrate even mothers, which may in our sight be so important, but the truth is, in God's sight, God say, have no other gods, have no other gods. And so that's one of the commandments. Love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and all thy soul and all thy soul. So if we love God, we do His commandments. And so how do we love God during these times? I know it's hard for people to actually to do it in these kind of times, because it seems like what happens is you have this whole effort, this whole momentum, especially with this kind of time, with talking about Mother's Day, we have this whole momentum going, a whole drive going, and so everybody's expected, getting into a frenzy almost. Not as bad as the Christmas frenzy, but it's a frenzy all the same. You have like a frenzy where people, everybody say, "Oh, Happy Mother's Day," and I guess when you look on your social media today, I'm sure you all had, out of all the things you looked at, probably 90% or so was Mother's Day, Happy Mother's Day, Happy Mother's Day, Happy Mother's Day. So you have this whole frenzy, pushing this thing that we shouldn't even be celebrating, but it's pushing it. It's pushing this Happy Mother's Day, and so over time, we've gotten our minds have gotten even dull, in my view, to the things that we should be paying more attention to. So, and why is this? Why is this happen? Why has this happened? The white man is still the devil that the Bible speaks of, and he deceives. Because if you notice, all of these things, these don't originate where you are. These things are introduced to us from elsewhere. We didn't create Mother's Day in the Bahamas. We didn't create Mother's Day. Israel didn't create Mother's Day to celebrate. All right, these things are introduced us by people who have plans for us, plans for our finances, plans for our mind, plans for our time, and we don't seem to understand that. We seem to always fall in the traps of what these people are doing. And that's why we have the saying, the white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. And we don't see
Lastly,
much that come with it. Go ahead.
um, my question is, I know that we are, as sisters, are not supposed to battle, but when certain things happen, especially using the example of Mother's Day, not a few, plenty of people sent Happy Mother's Day to my phone, and I did say thank you, and I resend it back to some people. And the reason for that is because I don't want to say, well, I don't celebrate Mother's Day, because they're gonna be like, well, why? And you can't just Behemoths are not just gonna accept
Uh-huh.
just because I don't. They want to hear why. And then when you say, well, I feel like it came from it originated from pagan beliefs, then that's gonna set something else off, and before you know
Uh-huh.
it, I battle in. So I mean, do you
Uh-huh.
what would you advise me to say if they was to ask, if I had answered, or at least for future reference, when it's something that I don't celebrate? What
Yeah.
do you advise me to say?
Well, for future reference, you're gonna have to start saying what you do and what you don't do. So for future reference, if you choose to answer them back and don't ignore them, because a lot of them people who sending you stuff, sometimes some of them people just send it in a group, but people who sending you personal stuff and you need to respond to them, you just need to let them know you don't celebrate it anymore. And you see, the best thing for you to do, or anyone who is just coming into the truth, is direct them to ISUPK. All right? Then you're part of ISUPK, and we don't celebrate those things. And if they want to know more, they could come to ISUPK. They could come to a class. They could ask all their questions. You want to be careful about getting into battles. And when Captain come on, I let him, clarify what women should not be doing. But yeah, I know that that's the general thing, that women should not be battling, and I think you should just direct them. But you have to say, because people have to start understanding who you are. If you don't say that you don't celebrate it anymore, they're gonna continue to send you things. Um, but if you tell them, and you tell them, oh, I don't celebrate that, and so they'll ask, what do you celebrate birthday? You say no. They'll ask you all them stuff. So the next time they will not even if y'all didn't go through it, they'll understand that you don't celebrate it. And why you're not celebrating it? Because God says not to celebrate anything. God said don't put anything before Him. And as we see a lot of the things that the world does is putting us before God. You could make a statement or something like that without, as you see if Cap could narrow it down, but you could make a statement so that you really don't get into battling, because everything you don't have to battle, even when you responding to people, um, like just for an example, it's just how you phrase your response. You don't have to phrase your response open ended. You phrase your response with an apostrophe, or not a question mark, a full stop or apostrophe or something like that. Say that's it, that's finished. We ain't talking about that. This is what we do. If you want to see something, you go there. You know, and so that's how I would suggest you respond. But you need to start letting people know what you celebrate and what you don't celebrate. Because again, that's the way that they're gonna now start the search of the truth. Because the thing is, they could be ignorant and they could be doing these things all their life in ignorance, and you may be the only person who now let them see that they may be wrong. So you're gonna have to say, well, I don't celebrate that anymore. I found my way into the truth, and as I'm studying now, say, oh, I still studying, so I can't tell you everything, but I know one thing. What I've learned so far, we're not supposed to be celebrating them. Now, I can't answer you everything, but to tell you what, we have classes where you could ask any question. You could come to any one of those classes and you could ask any question. And if the person who's conducting the class can't get an answer for you, they'll get an answer for you and get back to you. And that may be the way to answer those kind of things. But you have to start standing up, because if you don't, everything you do, you have to stand up now. You have to stand up. You have to stand up for right. You cannot just let things pass, because you're going to be called into account later if you don't stand up. You're going to have to say, you have to make a statement, especially when it comes to you personally. If there's something that you're not supposed to do, you can't just go along with the crowd because you don't want to offend anybody. You have to say, no, I don't do that no more. I don't do that. Right? Well, we just do that last month, 3 months ago. So you don't do that no more. Well, I find the truth over that time, and that was wrong, and I was wrong when I was doing it. So now I ain't doing it no more. Simple. So you have to put, because everybody know you for who you were. They need to now know you for who you are. And the only way they can know you for who you are is if you let them know. Okay? Or else they'll keep thinking you're the same person and not seeing you differently. All right.
Salakia.
Hey, come with it, young man.
Yes, I know when I came home today, this was a big day for them, but when I came in the house, there was a silence. They,
Uh-huh.
everybody celebrated Mother's Day, but everybody was just very silent because I already laid down the foundation what I celebrate and what I don't celebrate.
Right,
So I greet everybody. Hello, how you doing? How was your day? And that's it. But I had nobody mentioned but Mother's Day or whatever. But
right.
they, they know where I stand, and that's why it was free. I could feel the tension, but with the curiosity. But I didn't pay no
Uh-huh.
attention. No, I didn't put no attention to it. But we got to stand for what we believe in spite of in spite of the crowd or the family members or whatever. But
Hey,
can't.
okay, so what for that input? Now, yeah, it's important. It's important that you start taking a stand. Um, people need to know. People know you're in the transition. People need to know that you're in transition. So even if you let them know, listen, I'm in transition. I had to do. I had to refrain from saying a lot of things. Also, I had to when I was in transition, and when Captain said, "Now listen, you're not allowed to battle," because I couldn't battle either. See, now you can't battle, so you have to just be quiet. Just listen. You just come to class. You just keep coming to class. You just keep coming to class. That's all you're supposed to be doing at this point. So I had to do that. And so now, after I was able, when I passed the officer's test, Cap said, now you're allowed to teach everything that we taught you. Okay. And you also, whenever, if anybody asks you any questions, you are allowed to speak to them wherever it is. You see, so it comes like that. After you get certain, you will be allowed to go a little further with your conversations. But yes, people need to know. So at those points, I would just tell people, listen. I mean, I ain't come to battle you, but right now we're in transition. But I still don't agree with what you say. So sometimes I'll have a little bit. The truth is, sometimes I have a little way because you just couldn't let it go. Sometimes when people saying, you say one or two things and say, listen, I really ain't supposed to be battling you, but I only want to say this to you. You got to be wrong, so but you try to stay out of that battling, but you do let people know that that was the old you. The new you, the new you is now following the laws, the precepts, and commandments. And I want to read a scripture right about now when we come to this point. Okay, I'm going to read. Um, this can be Deuteronomy chapter 11 and verse 1. Therefore thou shalt love the Lord thy God and keep his charge and his statute and his judgment and his commandment always. You see, that's one thing we need to make sure that because this is something that we didn't always do. We have to appreciate that. We have to appreciate that we did not always keep the laws. We did not always keep the commandments. We did not always keep the statute. We didn't keep those things. So because we didn't keep those things, nobody expect us. Nobody around us um, know us to keep those things, expect us to keep those things, understand those things. So when they see us, they're gonna be expecting to see the old person. So now they're gonna just be going through the same motion that they expect all the time. So it's gonna have to be you who's gonna have to say no, don't do it anymore. And when you do that, when you say no, I don't do it anymore, remember now you just call yourself into account with that person. You just show that person now that going forward, they can never expect you to do anything wrong anymore because the same thing which y'all did together, they can come right back and say, but you do this, you might as well do the next thing. So I urge y'all to, as y'all are coming into the truth, to stand fast, make sure that people understand what your mindset is. Yeah, your mindset is you're in transition, you're changing. You're not gonna be celebrating anything that Yahweh, which is God, God the Father, which Yahweh says not to celebrate. And so now Mother's Day is not one of those days we're supposed to be celebrating or hallowed in the Bible. It's not. So if it's not there, then we should not be celebrating it. If you look at there are many um, celebratory days in the Bible that the world does not even celebrate. They don't look at any of those things. They don't look at any of the biblical celebrations. We've all gone to either pagan or personal celebration. That's all it is. Either pagan or personal celebrations. That's where we ended up. And so whenever we celebrate something, we either celebrate ourselves as gods, or we celebrate one of the false gods' days. That's how it is in a nutshell. You know, we're not celebrating because none of the days, if you look at all of the celebrations that we celebrate, that's all it is. Okay. Um, I'm trying to find another scripture, but most of our scriptures is basically the same thing. About I read another scripture now. Deuteronomy, I'm back still in Deuteronomy chapter 19, verse 9. If thou shalt keep all these commandments to do them, which I command thee this day, to love the Lord thy God, and to walk ever in his way, thou shalt add 3 cities more for thee, beside these 3. He's telling this, of course, to the children of Israel. He's just giving them another blessing, which on top of all the other blessings he was giving them. So, I'm going to go to our favorite. I don't know if this is ISUPK favorite book, but it definitely is mine, which is Deuteronomy. This is we'll go to Deuteronomy chapter 28. Because the thing is, if we see what's happening, we in this world, and I want y'all to recognize what's going on. Deuteronomy 28 in chapter 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. Okay, that's Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1. Now, if Moses said, the Lord said, we should keep all his commandments, and we are not, don't see, people are not understanding the simplicity of this thing, the practicality of this thing, which ISUPK brings, is very practical. If you don't do what the Lord say, you're going to be punished how the Lord say. And it's quite clear, even with this one scripture. And it shall come to pass. Because right now, if thou hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all the nations of the earth. Now, I don't have to tell no person of color what position we are in on the earth. I don't think I have to tell no person of color that, because only the people who actually are rebelling against God right now will try to say that we are any other position than on the bottom. Only people who hate God, who hate Yahweh. They hate Yahweh, and so they'll try and make it seem like, oh, no, we equal with other nations. I don't know if you're equal with other nations, but I mean that kind of sets you up, so you can't say that, right? So, but the truth is, we are not equal with other nations, and it's clear and it's plain. Anywhere you see any of the 12 tribes, they are on the bottom of society, and people are not even appreciating or understanding that simplicity. Because what I find is that as we read the scripture, and they say these are the blessings, Deuteronomy 28 and verse 2, and all these blessings shall come upon thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. So saying all these blessings will come upon. And of course, the blessings are from verse 3, it say, blessed shall thou be in the city, and blessed shall thou be in the field. Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy ground, and the fruit of thy cattle, the increase of thy kind, and the flock of thy sheep. Blessed shall thou be in thy basket and thy store. So all these are just blessing. Blessed shall thou be when thou comest in, blessed shall thou be when thou goest out.
Shalom.
Shalom. Now I'll turn the class over to priest and captain of 13,000. Yahweh Shemi Hashai Barak. Shalom.
Yahweh Bashem Thumb. Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shemata Bashem Hashai. How you all doing?
Shalom, Captain.
You good?
Tawab.
Okay.
I was
man.
just talking about Mother's Day.
Okay. How far you got? How far you got into
When I talk about Mother's Day, basically I didn't go too. I just talked briefly on the Mother's Day and said that we should be following the commandments, which is not Mother's Day. So I didn't dive directly into the Mother's Day.
Okay. So let's go to Amos. I think it's 5:21. All right. Let's start there first. All right. So as you know, according to the Bible, we're not supposed to celebrate what? Mother's Day. We're not supposed to celebrate none of these holidays. Why? Why are we not supposed to celebrate these holidays?
Because they originated from pagan beliefs?
Yes. These are pagan holidays. These are holidays that were created by heathens. Right? We never, you know what I mean, we don't celebrate Valentine's Day. We don't celebrate none of these things. And let me see. Let me see where we at. What is Mother's Day really about?
Honoring your mother?
Honoring your mother. Okay, let me see. Let me see if you're on this part, right? Now, you have kids, right? If your kids are behaving bad, right? Would you get a gift for your child? What would you do if you have a bad kid? When I say bad, meaning the kid not obeying you. What would you do?
If my kid's misbehaving, I would punish him.
Yeah, you'll punish him. You wouldn't give him what? You wouldn't give him a present. Right?
No, he's not entitled to a present.
He might what?
No, he's not entitled to a present because you're being disrespectful or being disobedient.
Yeah. So meaning you won't reward a child for being bad. You understand? Most of these mothers right now, they don't deserve any type of reward. You know what I mean? They do not. You look at what's happening to our kids today that's growing up in these single parent home. Who are you gonna blame for it? You're gonna blame, of course, you're gonna blame, you might blame some brothers, but the majority of the blame will fall on that woman. You understand? The majority is gonna fall on her. Now, Mother's Day, right? You had the scripture there for me? Akashka?
Cancer. This is the book of Amos. Cancer.
Go ahead.
Khan. This is the book of Amos, chapter 5 and verse 21.
Mm-hmm.
I hate, I despise your feast days,
I what?
and I will not smell in your
No.
and I will not smell in your
Uh-huh.
solemn assemblies.
What is the Lord saying? I what?
You will
Read that
not
one more time for
smell.
me.
So
Mm-mm.
He
He used a
This is the book of Amos.
strong word there.
This is the
What's the
book of
strong
Amos,
word he
chapter
used there?
5 and verse 21.
Despise.
I hate and
Mm-hmm. Yes. Read on. And despise.
I despise your feast days.
Yes, the Lord is saying he hates and he despises your feast days. Mother's Day was created by man. You understand? And when I say man, which man am I speaking about? I'm speaking about the oppressor.
The white,
right?
The white.
Yes, that's it.
Cancer.
Yes, the oppressor. Now, what's the other side to Mother's Day? Let me see if you're thinking. What's the other side to Mother's Day?
Father's Day coming. God.
Okay, yeah, they have Father's Day, but all these days, why do we have these days? What's the significance of it? Because for sure, it's not Mother's Day has nothing to do with mom. Because if it was about the moms, they would be trying to correct these sisters a whole lot with their behavior. You understand? With the way they treat their kids, with the way they treat their husband, right? Instead, Mother's Day makes a black woman or Hispanic woman or Native Indian woman who celebrates it more selfish. You understand? No, that's one side of it.
Cancer.
But there's another side of it, a side that we look over. You know what side we look over? We don't pay attention to? the economical side of Mother's Day.
Cancer. Commercialization of the day. Cancer.
Right. So Mother's Day has to do with what? Money. You know how much money was spent on today? Yeah, you know how much money was spent today and last year? Make a guess how much money. Make a guess. Just make a guess.
$1 billion.
Now you're getting into that ballpark. Now you're getting into that good old ballpark. Over what?
$1 billion.
Yes, over $1 billion. All right, give me 1 minute. Let me see if I could find it. All right. Right. And these way you get to realize too, who are your major spenders? Who are your major spenders outside of Mother's Day?
The major spenders.
Uh-huh.
The major spenders are mostly the black and the black people that I know of, because everybody, all of our black, we try to outdo the next family or the next individual.
Right. And now now we know is black people, right? Hispanics and Native Indians. Now the gender, when it comes to gender, who cares about flowers? Who cares about chocolate? Who cares about material things? Right? When it comes to the gender, when it comes to any type of celebration.
The women, sir.
Yeah, the woman. You remember the in the Garden of Eden? Go to the Garden of Eden. Go to Genesis 3:1. Go to Genesis
So like
3
this,
and
I
1.
also have that. I have the information on the amount of money spent on Mother's Day this year.
Yeah, come on. Tell them.
$33.5 billion.
Right? They said that's what is expected for this year. Right? That's what's expected for this year alone.
Expected.
Yeah.
Currency.
Which lets you know this has nothing. Okay. If America cared about mothers, or if the world care about mothers, then they will tell mothers to do what? What would they tell mothers to do? If the world cares about fathers, what would the world tell fathers to do?
They'll tell fathers to be good fathers, do the right things, follow the laws, precepts, and the commandments, and don't go
Now
to
you
jail,
get it.
don't smoke crack, raise your children right. They'll tell them that.
No, now you get into it. You will direct both mother and father to where? To the Bible. So now they both
Bible,
understand their positions, right? Because everybody I can't be a mother. You understand? A mother can't be a man. I can never breastfeed a child. I can't do that. I can't give that child the love a mother could give that child. So meaning everybody have their what? Position. Mother have their position, right? A father have his position, right? How we know what role and who have what role, we're going to have to open the Bible and see it. You understand? We're going to definitely have to open the Bible and see it. And now you're going to read, you right, about our black sister right here. And black sisters, and the reason why they're the ones that fall tremendously when it comes to these holidays. It's rough to get a sister to not celebrate Mother's Day. It's rough to get her not to celebrate Valentine's Day and Christmas and all these holidays where some gift is involved. Is very difficult. For a man, you tell a man he don't celebrate Christmas, don't celebrate Valentine's Day. To him, it's like, okay, well, all right, show me. No sweat. You understand? But to a woman, it's a bit difficult to do. You understand? And that's because we made differently. You understand? And we're going to read about it here right now. Read Genesis.
Genesis chapter 3 and which verse, sir?
3 and 1.
Where do you want me to start? Can. This is the book of Genesis chapter 3 and verse 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field.
Now the serpent. Hold on, Akashka. Don't run over that. The serpent was what? Was the most what?
Was more subtle than any beast of the field.
Right. So now what do they say the serpent is? Or who do they say the serpent is? When they depict the drawing, what do they depict the drawing as? They depict the drawing as a what? Sir. As a snake.
As a snake.
Right? But we know that this is not just a what? This is not just a snake.
It's not just a snake.
It's a what? It's the characteristic of a yes, it's the characteristic of a man.
Oppressor.
Yes. Right? And he's the most subtle. So guess what? We're going to have Mother's Day for all these mothers. They need a day. You understand? They need a day. Right? We need to protect mothers. We need to, you know what I mean? We need to cherish mothers. Sounds good, right? Sounds real good. You understand? And then you're going to ask, Mommy, how many abortions you had over the years, Mommy? And what mommy might tell you what? Give you a football score. You understand? All right? And understand this. in here. That's why once you come in here, right, you start coming to classes, you start your school as a man or as a woman, right? You starting over basically. You understand? That's why we say what? Young man, you could come in here, you're 100 years old. You come to class, you're going to be called a what? A young man.
Young man.
You understand? You come in here as a sister, you're going to be that, you know what I mean, that virgin that comes in. You could be 100 years old. You're going to be considered that virgin that come in to the school. You understand? Now,
Gotcha.
these sisters and these brothers out there, you understand? That's who we trying to communicate to. That's who we trying to get to come in. That's who we trying to what? Fish into the truth. So their eyes could open and see that we are being beguiled by this subtle beast, the snake called the oppressor. Right? Read on.
Cancer. Than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, and he
that any
said
beasts. No,
unto the woman,
he said what? He make subtile amongst any beast of the field. Ain't no other nation more subtile than so-called oppressor. You understand? You all see the war that's going on and across there in the Middle East, right? Right?
and one cancer.
No, the so-called small hats, right? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Cancer.
You can't say anything about them, about what they're doing, when you're not dropping bombs on them people. You're not starving them. You understand? But those words, they find a way to do what? Your words is the problem. When you say you're the real Jew, that's a problem. You understand? That's how subtle they are with it. To have people thinking what we spread and hate, we are hateful. When we not starving people, we not unaliving people, we not doing none of that. We just reading the Bible and we just coming back to our culture, our heritage. You understand? Right? Read on.
And he said unto the woman, Yea, has God said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden?
Right.
And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the tree of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, as God has said, ye shall not eat of it,
Right.
neither shall ye touch it.
So the black woman, Hispanic woman, and the native Indian woman, picture them having a conversation now with the so-called oppressor. And the oppressor is telling them, you could celebrate Mother's Day. Ain't nothing wrong with that. It's a good day. It's a day where, remember all mothers throughout the whole entire earth. We know you mothers going through 9 months with these kids. You all work hard. You all do this, that, the other. You know what I mean? All that is doing what? Gaming you up. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Blowing your head up big, making you think that what? That, yeah, I'm important.
It's okay.
I'm this. I'm that. When you are doing what? What are you doing on Mother's Day?
Sinning against God when you're doing that.
Okay. Let me see. Sister Teach. Let me see if I get I want to get a sister to answer it. On Mother's Day, how does a black woman feel on Mother's Day? I know you're here in class. I know you're not celebrating it, sis. But I'm just saying, you know what I mean, a year or two ago, how did it make you feel?
Special and appreciated.
Yes. And it made you feel like a what?
Queen.
So that's what it. Yes, now you're getting to it. It made you feel like a god on Mother's Day. You were the center of attention. You were the one on that day. You understand? To that child, to that father, to your father, to everybody around you. You were the center piece right there. You and all the women. You understand? Right? And now when you go do the history on it, right? This came all the way from where? From Rome. Right? Mothers, they come all the way from, remember, the Bible said there's what? Nothing new under the sun. All these days were what? Was set aside already. All they needed to do, each civilization was do what? Was give you a reason to celebrate something they wanted you to celebrate. You understand? Right? Read on.
Cancer.
Mm-hmm.
But God has said, ye shall not eat it, nor touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die. For
Mhm.
God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof,
Mm-hmm.
then your eyes shall be opened.
Right? And that's the
And
whole
ye-
thing. That's why you say what? A woman, she is what? What's the word they use? Women who celebrated Mother's Day, they are what? What's a simple word to describe them? It has the word Eve in it. What's the simple word to describe a woman who celebrated Mother's Day today? Or you know what I mean?
Naive, sir.
Naive. That's where the word naive come from. Nigh mean what? You're near to Eve. You're nigh on to Eve. You understand? Like
Cancer.
our sisters, right? All them advertisement. Why you think the church is designed the way it's designed? Is it for a man? Do you care about flowers? Which man care about flowers? Ain't nobody care about no man care about no flowers. But there are a ton of flowers in the Christian church. The preacher, when he dressed up in a nice slick suit, is he dressing up for you and me, or he dressing up for them women? For a woman.
For the women, sir.
When he talks soft, and you know what I mean, he tried to make his voice appealing. Is he talking to me or to your woman who's in the church? You understand, right? And that's because a woman, she ain't built with that how to put it, that what's the word to use? Okay, a man ain't naive. You can't just bring anything to a man. That's why how recent was Father's Day? Why you think they come up with Father's Day? Just as a what? As a counter to what? Mother's Day. Right? But do they celebrate Father's Day? You a father, you lucky to get socks, a pair of socks.
So lucky, sir, if I may.
Come on. Uh-huh.
Yeah, in the Bahamas, like I was saying a little earlier on the live, we have a thing that we have. It's almost like a joke when it comes to fathers. Mothers get all of the roses, all of the baskets, all of the gifts, all of the parties, and when Father's Day come around, the fathers get a crab and rice dinner.
Yeah.
So it's like a joke, you know.
Yeah, that's what I tell you. It's you know what I mean, you lucky if you get a pair of socks. You know what I mean?
Cancer.
You lucky. You know what I mean? Not saying you care about it. What you care about is, you know what I mean, you just care about the acknowledgement. You understand? You ain't really caring about nothing. You know what I mean? That's why. Just look and see how much money they make on Father's Day last year. See how much money they make on Father's Day last year. Right? Why they're doing that, right? Now, it came all the way, remember, it came from Rome. And how you know it came from Rome? What month we in today? What month we in?
We in May.
May? What remember,
May.
all your months has to do with what? Wait, where the name of the months come from? Your months and your the days of the week. Sunday is what? Is the worship of what?
Worship of the sun, sir, if I may.
The sun god, yes. So the days of the week has to do with their gods, right? May come from who? You ever hear the name Maya? Right?
Can't, sir.
Right? Maya. Right? Right? And she was a what? A Roman goddess. Right? With the Greeks, she was known as Rhea. Now you're getting to see where all the mothers, you could tie it all the way down to who now? Why you think Mary is looked at as being the mother of God? You understand? Like everything is, was created by the oppressor. It was created strategically to destroy us. You understand? Until we start doing what? Actually sitting down and opening the Bible and recognizing the Lord trying to tell you, I'm not celebrating your feast days. You understand? I'm not even going to smell in your solemn assembly. Right? And then right? Rome also had a name for her called what? Sibyl. I mean, these names you could write down, and then after class, go look it up, and you will see. You'll see it. You understand? You'll see that all these gods, what they try to do is this. They know that in the Bible, how many gods we worship in the Bible? How many gods in the Bible?
So, like, how many gods we worship as Israel?
How many gods in the Bible?
Well, one God.
Yeah, we only worship one God.
Cancer.
All right. Remember the Arabs had a God for every day. Until Muhammad ran into the Jews. And then he said what? He's going to adopt Allah as a God. So now the Muslims only worship what? One God.
One God.
Right?
That figure?
Come on,
was spent on men. 13.3 billion. I think that's 1/3.
Yeah.
13 billion was spent on men last Father's Day.
Yeah, all this is the oppressor trying to maximize what?
Try to maximize the input of cash.
Yeah, that's it. That is it. All your holidays. What about Valentine's Day? How much money do you think they make on Valentine's Day? How much money do you think they make
than Mother's Day, sir.
Right. Yeah, how much money do you think they make on Christmas? Right?
A lot.
Right. Yes. Go back to finish reading Genesis to me.
Answer.
Mm-hmm.
This is Book of Genesis, chapter 3, and verse 5 in the middle.
Yeah, go ahead.
Then your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil.
Knowing what? Good
and evil.
And evil. And that's the question you had to ask right now. All right. Question you're gonna have to ask yourself right now. A black woman willing to give up Mother's Day. Right? Knowing that they're not supposed to celebrate it. Knowing that it's not in the Bible. Right? Tell me this. What scriptures do they bring out in the churches when it comes to Mother's Day?
It's a lot of kids. I don't even remember right now.
I think young man Bryce, I think you're on mute. You take off mute. You're on mute.
Well, normally talking about a virtuous woman, they go into Esther and Esther and the Christian church.
Oh, so I see what I'm saying. So the child said that's the type of woman you ought to be. You know what I mean? That's all well and good, but did Esther celebrate Mother's Day? You understand? And virtuous woman, what does a virtuous woman have to deal with? Sister Teach. What does a virtuous woman have to deal with? Go to Proverbs, I think it's 31 and 10. What does it have to deal with? Oh, young man Bryce. What does it have to deal with? Read it.
So this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 31, verse 10. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies.
Who could find a what?
Who can find a virtuous woman?
Who could find a
virtuous woman?
Yeah. Right? And what does virtuous means?
Righteous. Someone with high moral standards.
No. Look at the definition for me. Akashka. Women, they find ways to not. Okay, think about it like this, right? Women in the world find ways not to do what when they're in the church. I might be asking a broad question. Think more so along the line of the relationship between her and her husband. How does she treat her husband? Woman in the church. How does she treat the pastor compared to her husband? I could hear a pin drop. Come on.
I can answer that question, but before that, virtuous is having or showing high moral standards.
Give me some more.
That's virtuous. She considers herself very virtuous because she nurtures.
Okay, where at right now? Where you at right now?
This
in Donovan?
So this is the Oxford Language Dictionary.
Okay.
Let me go to the Donovan.
Yeah. Yes, there's something in there that tells you. And that's why I asked about her relationship towards her husband. All right. All right. And how many you ever read the Proverbs 31? I know you have been hearing, you know what I mean, these women saying, I'm a virtuous woman, I'm this, I'm that. Right? But to be virtuous means you have what?
Salaki, sir. I
Uh-huh.
have
Come on.
virtue. I have
Virtue. Come on.
in the Zondervan Pictorial Bible Dictionary, page number 884. Virtue, often involving moral worth
Mhm.
and any excellence of a person or thing.
Any what?
The phrase "a virtuous woman."
No, hold on. That
Any
part right there.
any excellence
Mm-hmm.
of a person
What does that mean? Any excellence of
or
a
thing.
person? Let's read a little bit. Read a little bit of Proverbs 31.
Kind.
Mm-hmm.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 31 and verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
Who can find a virtuous woman?
Go ahead.
For her price is far above rubies.
Her price is far above
Ah.
rubies. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
The heart of her husband does safely trust in her,
Her heart of her husband does what?
so that does safely trust in her.
Meaning what?
That her husband totally trusts her. Her judgment.
No, okay. More so he doesn't have to worry about this woman.
Cancer.
I mean, he don't have to stress out. He don't have to worry that if he doesn't come home at night, if he comes late at night, she is going to be where? There, waiting for him, preparing for him to come home. You understand?
Cancer.
Like, he don't want to worry about, you know what I mean, about whether she's going to be in the streets. He doesn't have to worry that she is going to, you know what I mean, give him a bad name or bad reputation in the streets. You understand? Right? Read on.
So that he shall have no need of spoil.
What's spoil? Spoil is something you get from what? From a war. Meaning he doesn't have to go do what?
Go to the work or war?
No, he doesn't have to do what? He doesn't have to do anything illegal to get money. Right? What do brothers say about, you know what I mean, what's the first excuse to selling drugs or illicit substances? I ain't got no money.
Oh, they have to feed their family. Yeah.
Yeah, I feed my family. You understand? You don't want for no spoil. Meaning what? You're gonna be okay. You know what I mean? You could be home, chilling, foot up on the couch, watching news, watching TV, watching whatever, and she's not what? She not arguing with you. She ain't fussing with you. You ain't had a stress. Well, you know what? I'll go find some work. Because if she come home and see me here, she's gonna be angry. And then I'm out of hear her mouth. Right? Read on.
Cancer. She will do him good and not
She will
evil.
She will what?
She will do him good and not evil.
You understand? Because I'm out, brother. I know I'm a Benjamite. I know you all Benjamites. You all don't want to hear when you all come home Some woman running their mouth after you done coming from a hard day's work. You don't want a type of noise in your house. You understand? That send you, you know what I mean? That will send you insane. You understand?
Can't say.
Right? You want a woman when you come home, hey baby, put your foot up. Oh baby, here, I have food right here for you. It's hot. Just take it out. Just took it out of the microwave. It's hot. Come and eat. I'm gonna take your boots off, take your socks off. How was your day today? Man, this boss, you know me, he had me doing this. Oh, for real? Ain't no problem, baby. You know what I mean? We got this. You want that when you come home. You understand?
Can't.
Read on. Read on.
Can't say. All the day of her life.
What? Some days?
She was doing good and not even all the days of her life.
And guess what? You get a woman like that, brother. We having Mother's Day every day.
Can't
Understand
say.
that. I ain't having Mother's Day when the oppressor tell me to have Mother's Day. She's gonna have Mother's Day every what day? You understand? Read on.
She seeketh wool and flax and worketh willingly with her hands.
So, are you understanding what's going on here? What is a virtuous woman? She seeketh flax and she do what? What does she do, Akashka?
And worketh willingly with her hands.
Uh-huh. Is that a righteous woman? Just to give it,
Can't
a
say.
virtuous woman is a woman that has ability. She has ability. You understand? Right? When women say righteous, they leave out the ability part, basically. And when I say they leave out the ability part, it's to the point where I don't have to go work for you. You're a grown man. You're supposed to go work for yourself. But this woman ain't telling that man that. This woman ain't doing that. This woman doing what? She going and get the flax, right? She going and get the thread, right? And she's going to do what? She's going to do the work. She's going to sew. You understand? When a woman says she's virtuous, she doesn't understand. In her mind, she thinking, I'm right with the Lord. But what about being right with your husband? When a woman says she's virtuous, in her mind, she's right with the pastor. But what about being right with your husband? You understand? I don't care if your man, you come into the truth with a man and he's not in the truth. You better treat him. He better look at you as being virtuous. You should go home and not get in no argument and tell him you're good for nothing. You are alcoholic. You this. You better not talk down to him like that. You understand? He's in the world. Well, Lord be with him. But you're in the truth. You understand? You gotta learn how to speak to him. And vice versa. You're gonna have to learn how to speak to her. She's in the world. You understand? Right? Come on. Read on.
She is like a merchant's ship.
What? She's like a what?
She bringeth her food from.
No, hold on. You don't
she
read
is like
over
a
that.
merchant's ship.
What does that mean?
Can't say.
What's a merchant ship? And you want to tell me I must wish you?
Supplies good.
Yeah, brother. She bringing everything to the table. She's not questioning you and saying, what are you bringing to the table? She's bringing what? Everything to the table. You understand? Everything. Right? I know you're going to tell me about what? Mother's Day? I said, come on, sit down. Let's talk. How you treating your husband? How you treating your kids? What you know what I mean? What's really going on? Now I'm having a checklist to see. Oh, I'm righteous. Oh, you're righteous. Okay. Yeah, do you cook for your man? Do you buy buy some clothes for him? What do you do for him? Well, he not going to church, so this is a now hold up. Now that's not what the scripture is saying, though. Scripture is talking about a man that's going to church and doing whatever. No, it's talking about what? What is the virtuous woman? What is this? Who is this speaking to? Who? Who is this speaking to?
To all women.
Yeah, to a woman. This is speaking to a woman. You understand? This is speaking to a woman. This is not telling her, well, if your man go to church with you, then this is how you're supposed. No, that's not what it's saying. It's not saying that. And it's not saying to break the law also too. Meaning this, if your man smokes marijuana, it's not saying for you to do what? Go buy him a bag. I know he could sit down and smoke his life away. No. You're going to have to say what? Maybe that's wrong. I can't get you that. But I could get you a bottle of what you drink. You drink Johnny, I get a bottle of Johnny. Double Johnny. Double Scotch. But I can't get you no marijuana. Cannot. You understand? This is speaking to her. Her relationship to who? To the husband and to who? The family. That's why when you read lower down, it's explaining to you that she's doing what? She's getting the land. She's sewing clothes. She's doing everything. You understand? When he goes out and comes in, she's waiting up for him. She's right there, ready to receive him. Because this woman has what? Ability. She could do it. She could cook. She could sew. You understand? She has a career. She could go out and buy land. She has ability. You understand? These women in Christian church, they do not have ability. They're not virtuous. I know you could say virtuous and that's basis off of what? Being righteous. But that ain't gonna fill my belly. You understand? That ain't gonna make me happy. Right? And the Christian church likes to say what? And base this whole thing on what? A happy wife, a what? A happy life. Right? The Bible is against that. You can clearly see that. You understand? All right. You have any more questions on it? Any more?
No, sir.
Let me see if I can get look up the history on Mother's Day. Right? No, there's going to be several histories out there on how it came about. Right? Just know this. Mother's Day was around for thousands of years. Right?
According to
it just did not. Right? It just did not do what? Wasn't known by what? Mother's Day. You understand? Just like when you read the Bible, right? Do you see Christmas in the Bible? Do you see the word Christmas in the Bible?
La sir.
But you read about what? You read about
the tree. Yes.
Yes, you read about something that was what? Yes. That was celebrated like Christmas. You understand? Right? Remember the oppressor. Let me see if I find this scripture. All right, I think it's in Proverbs.
So like I said, while you're doing that, just say Mother's Day. The modern concept of Mother's Day, as we know it, is largely credited to Anna Jarvis, an American
Yes.
activist who campaigned for dedicating the day to honor mothers in
To what?
1905.
Right, in 1905. I think that's I think she did it, I think, after the Civil War. Right? This is
After her
this
mother
is
died. Yeah.
yes. But it's after this. I think it's going to link it to the Civil War and how the woman, I mean, how they basically took care of the men around wartime, basically. Right? You can read on a little more.
After her mother's passing in 1905, Jarvis advocated for a national holiday to recognize mothers and their contribution to society. That's the end of that part of the report.
Right? So it sounds like what? It sounds like this is a what? A good day. Because you're doing what? You're honoring what? Your mother. Right? Read Isaiah 5:20. Isaiah 5:20. Tell me when you get it. Isaiah 5:20.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 5:20. Woe unto them that call evil good.
That call what?
Good evil.
That call evil good.
Good and good evil.
Meaning what? They're saying that what? Mother's Day is what? A good day. But it's evil. You understand? It's evil to celebrate Mother's Day. All right? Right? Woe unto them, meaning what? All quicker for what? Destruction. Punishment unto them. Which call what? Evil what?
Good evil. Evil good.
And good evil.
And good evil.
Right? Like the Bible, it covers every area you think about. Right? You not celebrating Mother's Day. What does your mother say? You're what? Or you not celebrating Mother's Day. What does your wife say when you do acknowledge her for Mother's Day? What's she saying? She says what? You are what? Come on. Come on. You all ain't going through the first. This is the first year you ain't celebrate Mother's Day. You ain't going through the whole. I mean, I know I went through it. I get a call, so you ain't gonna call me on Mother's Day.
This is my. Yeah. Well, the thing is, this is Salakis, if I may. This is now my third year, so I got that stuff my first year when everybody would have come down and say, "Oh, you're not celebrating Mother's Day." I would have got that. People would be sending me Mother's Day and sending me stuff and expect me to do things. But after this now, third year, nobody's bothering me now.
Yeah. But I mean, I know that they're coming to you and telling you, "Oh, you ain't celebrating Mother's Day." You understand? Making you look what? Like you what? Like you are like
bad guy.
You, yeah. Like you are seven heads. You 7-headed dragon. You understand? Like you the bad. I mean, you're so evil for not celebrating Mother's Day when it's good that you're not celebrating it. It's great. Like why it is if you say you're free, why do I have to be told or give my day to celebrate my mother? So I can celebrate my mother throughout the whole entire year. What is that called in the Bible? What is that called in the Bible? What's that called? You don't know what that's called in the Bible?
What's what's the question?
When you celebrate your mother every day, what is that called in the Bible?
Oh,
Go to Ephesians 6:1.
This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 6 and verse 1.
Mhm.
Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right.
Obey your parents in the Lord, meaning what? You're obeying them in the Lord, meaning Mother's Day is not of the Lord, or not in the Lord. So if you don't celebrate Mother's Day, that has nothing to do with what it's telling you to do right now. Right? Read on.
Honor thy father and thy mother, which
That's
is the first
you.
commandment with promise.
Yes, that's you. What? You recognizing them what? Every day.
Every
Lord
day.
tell you to do what?
Cancer.
Honor your mother and father. This is according to what? The Bible. You could go to the store for mom. Mom asks you to buy, give me a quarter pound of pork. You can kindly say, Mom, I'm going to the grocery store for you, but I'm not buying you pork. I'll buy a beef, buy a lamb, I'll buy a goat. But I cannot buy your pork. Cannot buy a crab, shrimp, and lobster. You understand? That's you what?
Cancer.
Honoring your mother and father.
Honor. Can.
If father and mother up in age, you need a medication, you can do what? You can go get them that medication. You understand? That's you honoring them. Every day. You listen to them according to what? Read that first part. Read that first part to Ephesians.
Can. Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Children, obey your parents in the Lord.
In the Lord.
Is right.
Yes, in the Lord. Meaning you are not going to obey your mother if it's going to make you do what? Your mother
sin against God.
Go on. Yes. If your mother, whatever she's telling you to do, is going to cause you to sin, you should decline to do it. If your father is telling you to do something that's going to have you sin, decline to do it. You understand? And teach your kids that. You understand? Teach them that. You understand? If I come today, tomorrow, or next week and tell you we now supposed to worship the angels, guess what you should do? You should not.
Do it, sir.
Yes. It's like, yes, sir, but you did not teach me to do this. This is what you taught me to do. We cannot do that. That's nowhere in the Bible. You understand? Right? And that's how we do it, according to the Bible. Mother's Day is against God, so we don't celebrate it. You understand? And I bet you, and this is how you'll see black people, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You mean how they, them waking up, and the so-called oppressor, he's going to hurt for it. You understand? Most of us don't like these holidays, but it makes the oppressor what? Rich. Rich people love it. People who making millions of dollars, they love it, and they push it on us. You know how much advertisement you see sitting on watching TV pertaining to Mother's Day for the past few days? And how many emails you get in your emails telling you, don't forget there's a special on. And what do they say? 50% off on this, that, the other. To lure you into doing what? Buying something for mommy, spending your money. When they don't care about mommy. They don't care. They care if mommy obey the Lord? No. What they care about is getting what? Rich. You understand? All right. I know we're up on the time. Any questions on it, on the topic, when it comes to Mother's Day? Any? If not, I'm gonna pass the class over to Priest and Officer Ashka. All right, and you know what I mean.
God.
All right, so clap it
Let's
up.
clap it up.
All right, so pass the class over to Priest and Officer Ashka for the announcements.
God, sir. This is the security announcement. We are the ISUPK out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Johanna. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves off the world. After 6 months, if the brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to the brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18:21 and Malachi 3:8 through 10, and it means tenth in the Hebrew and is pronounced ma'ashira. 10% of every penny of any increase that the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher. The priest fund, the free will offering for priests is not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give, you can give. Upcoming Holy Convocation. We're still in the period of the Feast of First Fruits. It'll be ending on June the 17th, which is 50 days after the Feast of Unleavened Bread. A reminder to Achium and Aquathium to check on the social media, such as isupk.com, Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube, and so on for ISUPK events and material. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he should start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirt, pants, headbands, and scarf. And with that, when a visual, a majum, it means to stand. We give one courtesy salute to our teacher, priest and captain of 13,000, Captain Nayata. We give him a majum Shabbat, a majum Barak, Yahweh Bayashim, Yahweh Shai Barakatah.
Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Barakathum.
And we sister Majum, it means to stand. We give one, we turn to the sister, we give her a salute. A Majum Shabbat, Barak, Yahweh Shema Alatam Bayashim Yahushai.
Yahweh Shema Elathan Bashim Yahweh Shai.
Yadamata.
Class this Ajamata.
Class dismissed.
Class this.
All right.
Shalom.
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 Akim. Shalom, sis.
Shalom.
Shalom.